What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I am DJ, and today we will be having story time. Today's story time, I'm gonna be talking about the first time I went to the strip club. This could get very interesting. So, let me just tell you guys how the idea came up. So, it was my 21st birthday. I wanted to do things differently because it's like I'm 21, things are different, I'm grown now. I want to go see what it's like to be a grown man. That was my thought process. It's like, you know what, let me see if I could do things different. So, I'm talking to all my family, talking to my cousins, my brothers, whatever. I'm like, yo, what should I do for my birthday? Like, I'm 21 now, so I'm just ready to go off, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need some type of fun in my life, because up to that point, all I had was school and school. That's it. So I'm like, you know what, let me do things different. So I'm doing some research, I'm finding different clubs and stuff like that. So I found one like not a couple, but like maybe half an hour from where I live at. I'm like, you know what, let me try to go there. So up to this point, I'm thinking you got to be 21 to get into, strip clubs and stuff like that. I didn't know you could be 18, you know what I'm saying? Well, at least at this particular strip club. So I'm like, damn, I could have been coming here for 3 years, yet I'm over here waiting till I turn 21 to actually come. So whatever, I finally go, I think it was like 3 or 4 of us. We finally go, and I'm nervous as hell. Like, when I tell you I'm nervous, I'm nervous. So we getting in the Uber to go there because, I knew we was going to have a couple drinks. So I'm like, nobody should be driving just so we could be safe or whatever. We get driven there, and on the way there, I'm just like low-key kind of panicking. I'm like, yo, what if I spend too much money too quick? What if I, do the wrong thing? Like, do they have rules? Like, I don't know. It's just a million questions that's going in my head, and I'm just like, yo, I need to ease. So my boy, he's like, yo, calm down. Calm down. I'm like, yo, why are you so calm? This is not your first time going. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you feel when it was your first time going? He's like, yeah, I was kind of nervous. So I'm like, all right, so let me have my moment. You know what I'm saying? Let me have my moment, and, I'm going to do what I got to do. So whatever. Fast forward a little bit. We halfway to get in there, and that's when it's starting to hit me, because I don't see familiar buildings, because like when I'm in my city, like I see buildings, I'm like, all right, I'm home. We get to a place that I don't even know where it's at. Like, I don't know nobody out there, so it's just like a ghost town. So I'm like, all right, whatever, let's just go see what happens. So we get there. I tell everybody, bring enough money, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not about to be going out of my bank and giving money to you. Bring enough and make sure you make it last. That was what I told everybody prior to coming. We get there. As soon as we get there, they doing a little security check, checking us for everything, you know what I'm saying? They like, boom, you guys can't bring your phones in. So in my head, I'm like, damn, it's not like we could go back to the car because we came in the Uber. So I'm like, miss, I don't know what to do. Like, I got my phone, but it's not like we came in the car. Like, what we did, but it was an Uber. So she's like, listen, we could hold it for you, but it's like a $5, $10 fee. I'm like, damn. So I'm calculating in my head. I'm like, shit, this was going to be money, like my tipping money. So now I got to go out of my tipping money and, get like a little cubby or whatever it is to put my phone in. Boom. So whatever, I do that. We finally go inside. And then when I tell you my face, like, bro, I was like my eyes lit up. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I was just like, oh my God. Like, whoa. Literally, I walked in like this.
With me, cause I came from the bottom, from the fence to the chopper broke. Yeah. Ain't saying a thing, period.
I did all of that, and I'm just like, whoa, like, this is really what's about to happen. So as soon as I get in there, she's like, this is this dance or whatever. She's like, hey, Poppy, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. Now, up to this point, like, you talking to somebody, I ain't get that many girls growing up. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna lie or cap to none of y'all. Nah, I didn't. So, getting that kind of attention, I was just like, damn, like, okay, that's the kind of party we at. So, all right, so welcome to the party. So, I'm talking to her or whatever. She comes and she sits next to us, like, in the seat. She's like, I never seen you around. I'm like, yeah, because I ain't, like, this is my first time. Now, fellas, if you ever go to a strip club for the first time, never, and I mean never, let them know it's your first time. That was my mistake. I let them know that was my first time, and boom, they took advantage of me. So I'm like, she's like, oh, it's your first time? Boom, she sat on my lap. I was like, oh. My blood start rushing, you feel me? I'm like, oh, like I'll start tensing, my neck get a little crick in it. I'm like, oh, nah, like, oh. That, like, because remember, I never done none of this stuff. So the fact that I'm able to do this stuff now, I'm just like, whoa, like, I ain't know that this what this supposed to feel like. So, and you know, of course, she had a little fake butt, like she went to go get her shit done. But at that point, I didn't even care. The fact that her ass was on my lap, I was just like, whoa. She's like, come on, you want a private dance? Because they usually like give like lap dances to whatever song's being played. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not thinking that she gonna charge me for it. I'm just thinking, oh, she being nice. Boom, another thing, fellas. Everything costs money, everything. But being it's my first time, I ain't know that. I'm just like going with the flow. She take me to the back. She doing her little dance or whatever. And I'm just like, oh. So we finished the dance. That dance was mad quick. She's supposed to dance a whole song. She danced, first of all, she took me back there when half the song was already done. So we get out there. She's like asking for her money. I'm like, what you mean? She's like, oh, $45. I'm like, well, she didn't really sound like that, but in my head, that's how she sounds. So I'm like, $45 for what? You danced for a minute. She's like, yeah, that's part of it. So boom, I'm $45 down now, like $45 down, plus the thing to get my phone in the cubby. So that's already like $50 right there. So I'm like, yo, I'm really down bad right now. So we go back out there. My boy's like, yo, how was it? You know, what she do back there? Blah blah. So I'm gassing it up. I'm like, yeah, she did everything, bro. I was motorboating. I was doing all type of shit back there. He's like, yo, for real? I'm like, yeah, go get you one. Cause see, me, if we all gonna go down and I go down, then we all gotta go down. Let me rephrase that. I don't think that makes sense. If I go down, them motherfuckers going down with me. So I was gassing it up like, yeah, that shit was hot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, boom, he took her right back. He's like, yeah, can I get a lap dance? So I ain't feel as bad after, cause I'm like, shit, if I took the L, we taking L's together. That's just how I think of it. So we both took an L that day. So he went back there, paid her money. He's like, damn, you ain't tell me it was $45. I'm like, shit, I just found out the same time you found out. So we both down $50 right there. Another girl comes in. So now me personally, I feel bad because this is my first time. So this girl, she like, I guess they could sense, like they like vultures. They could smell the blood like in the air. She knew how nervous I was because it was my first time. So this girl, she comes on stage. When I tell you, she gave me like the eye of the hawk, bro. She was just like, and I'm just like, yo, why she looking at me like that? She give me the little finger like that. I'm like, oh. So now, mind you, I didn't go there with that much money. I think I went there with like $200. So I'm already down $50 from what happened prior to that. So I turn all my dollars into singles or whatever. So I'm throwing. I'm not realizing how much I'm throwing. I didn't realize how much I was throwing. So by the time I noticed, I'm like, yo, I'm really down bad. Like, cause one, like anybody, like now when I go, obviously I separate them in different pockets. So if one pocket's empty, all right, next pocket. You know what I'm saying? So at the time I wasn't doing that. I had everything in one big, like, you know, pack or whatever you want to call it. Pile, my fault. And so I'm just throwing. She's like, oh, yeah, you wanna go get a lap dance? Now in my head I'm like, that girl just charged me $45. I'm not doing that ever again. She was like, oh, okay. So I told her some BS. I'm like, yeah, how long you gonna be here? I'm gonna be here all night. She's like, all right, I'm gonna come see you later. Just make sure you see me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I ain't even gonna see you after this at all. So whatever. The next people coming. Long story short, well, not short, but shorter than it was going to be. I ended up wasting so much money that when the girl came in that I really was feeling, like, yo, when I tell you this girl looked like she was one of Floyd Mayweather's old chicks, and you know he got the baddie. So she come up there, she got her little braids on, Dominican thing. I'm like, oh my god, that's how I was, and I'm just like, yo. So she comes on stage and she looking at me. I'm like drooling out the mouth, like I'm fixing my. I'm like, yo, I ain't never seen no girl like you around here. Like, we got cute girls around here, but that girl was beyond beautiful. I'm like, yo, like, it was the first girl I was just like, you don't gotta be here. Like, I really was about to tell her, like, you don't gotta do this. You don't gotta do this. But of course, obviously, my pockets was not having that shit, because I can't even tell her that shit. My ass shouldn't even been there. So whatever. She ended up talking to me, and I felt bad because I only had like $30 left. So I'm throwing it just to keep her up there as long as I can. She finished. She's like, oh, you want to lap dance? In my head, I'm like, hell yeah. But I ain't had no more money. I'm like, yeah. Hold on. Let me go take money off my card, and then I'll be back. So whatever. She goes do what she got to do. She goes backstage, locker room, whatever. I'm talking to my boy. I'm like, yo, bro, we got to dip. I don't got no more money, and I just told her I was about to go get money off my card. I don't got no money on my card right now. Only got the money to get us home. He was like, yeah, let's dip. Because I guess he had wasted his as well. So we end up going, and my other boy, he wasn't trying to leave yet. I'm like, yo, if you don't want to leave, I'm bouncing, bro. Like, I can't stay here because I know she going to keep coming around looking for me because that's what they've been doing the whole time. He's like, oh, yeah, all right, let's be out. So we end up leaving. Like, we're going outside to wait for the Uber to take us home. It was like a 20-minute wait or whatever. These dudes get in a fight. The dude fights with the bouncer. I guess he got drunk or whatever. Starts swinging out the bouncer. The bouncer, he do what he got to do to, like, de-escalate the situation. And I was just like, whoa, this is real life. Like, that was my, like, whoa moment. Like, damn, this is real life right here. Like, I'm not in no kiddie club. Like, nah, we adults now. You know what I mean? So it was just a crazy experience, man. And I think one thing I learned is future times when I go with people that, and I see it's their first time, I just give them certain tips. And I guess that's the best tips I could tell you. So if anybody watching this who hasn't been in the strip club, make sure you guys use some of the tips that I told you. Do not let them know it's your first time. They gonna tell everybody. And like I said, do what you gotta do, man. If you want to be those people who just throwing money to throw it, then cool. But I kind of wish I didn't do that. I wish I took my time because I was done within 2 hours. And that's just what it was. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun filming it. I want to do more of these story times because I feel like there's so much that I could tell, with my new audience. And hey, let's get it. I'm willing to share if you guys are willing to listen. So as I always say, I catch you when I catch you. Peace.